Hey, awesomes. How's everybody doing out there in 1050 land? Well, excuse me, I'm just trying to finish eating here. I'm trying to get as much done as possible, trying to catch up from last week. Super apologies. Whew. Feel like I'm back amongst the living again. I'm actually in Oakland. In Oakland. I'm in my office at Oakland University. So I hope to, now I'm kind of back on campus a little bit. I hope be able to come to you hopefully the next week or so and let you know when I'm going to be sitting in here pretty much on a regular basis. So if you need to come by and see me beyond, I know I've met with several of you through Google Meets, Google Chats, a couple of you through Zoom, a couple of you FaceTime. Anytime you need to meet with me, you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. I know I posted the week 5 overview video. I want to talk to you a little bit more specifically. These are the videos I was hoping to get out last week. I'm trying to get those out to you this week. So as you begin to draft, all right, your rhetorical analysis, project 1, we've been thinking about these. I know I've used this term, I think, a couple of times when I've said about, think of these as components, right? Because an analysis is breaking down something. Recall back from the Project 1 rhetorical analysis overview video, we were talking about examining, I'll highlight it right here, examining its various components, right? This is kind of what analysis does, right? So when we put the word rhetorical in front of it, now we're going to start looking at those things that we've already been talking about, right? We've talked about ethos, pathos, and logos, right? We've talked about argument types. What we did briefly last week. We got to talk more about that this week. We've talked about logical fallacies. And we've talked about when we look into our particular article that we've chosen, first thing we want to do, have our article, and then we start finding those components. Where's the argument, right? Where is the ethos? Where is, and if you notice in those videos this week that I posted, the YouTube videos, not mine, but the other videos that I shared with you, if you'll notice on those videos, especially that one gentleman, he does a really good job of saying, okay, and he's underlining the text. Okay, here's what ethos, here's something that could be pathos because it's trying to get the emotion out of the audience. Here's logos because it's an appeal to reason. And use those as really, really good examples as how to find those components in your article. Start underlining or start highlighting, right? Circling, whatever it is that you do, kind of like you're annotating a text, so to speak. So these various components are all listed right here, right? What's the rhetorical situation? That's a component, right? What's the purpose? We get that, we glean that when we ask ourselves, why did this text need to be written? Or how can we imagine why the author wrote this text, right? Then when we start getting into the analysis, now we go to type of claims, arguments, right? What kind of is it? We're going to talk about argument types, right? Definition, evaluation, causal, proposal, rebuttal, and then, of course, there's also there's another one. We'll talk about it later. Used in the article, right? What's the type of claim? What's being used? What's the rhetorical situation, right? Why did this text need to be written in the first place? Who are the major players that we can possibly think about that created this rhetorical situation, right? Did something happen in the world that created the need or that has created a need for an ongoing conversation about your topic, right? COVID being, right, the super huge, excuse me, why do we need a discussion about vaccines? Because vaccines, right, are going through another change, another process. Do we need booster shots, right, et cetera, et cetera? So that would explain kind of the rhetorical situation or the context of perhaps why that article or if your article was that. Need to be written. Ethos, how is the author, in the article demonstrating or making themselves appear credible and trustworthy? Where in the article are our emotions out of the audience or from you being pulled on, right? When we talked about pathos before, we talked about emotions, like what's being pulled, those heartstrings that are being pulled on, or even maybe what's being played to either generate fear or anger or some sort of emotion, right? And then logos are the appeal to reason, and we've talked a little bit more about that, but we're going to talk a little bit more about those in detail with more videos this week because I've got spend a little time on each one of those. Stay safe, stay awesome. Be right back.